Hello again, everybody. This is John and Glenn with BestPriceNutrition.com. Today we're going to cover the new pre-workout product from Gaspari Nutrition, Superpump Max, which is going to be replacing the Superpump 250. The Superpump Max is similar in the sense that they didn't come out with a smaller, concentrated pre-workout like the Jack 3D and the 1MRs of the world, which are largely heavy on the stimulants, and the actual dosage itself, I think most of them are like about a 5 to 7 gram serving size. So this one's still a relatively large serving size in that it's 16 grams. The current is 20 grams. It's still 40 servings per container. And a large bulk of that is taken up by some of the amino acids that they're putting in there. They're a little larger structures, so you need a little more space in your serving for that. So we're going to go ahead and break down the ingredients. Glenn, you want to go ahead and kick it off with the first complex?
Yeah.
They call it we're just going to give you the trademark names and then go through the ingredients. I mean, every company does this. They have their little complex and this and that. It's just adjectives. It really doesn't mean anything. What matters are the actual ingredients within the complex. So
yeah, they've got Myovol Electrohydration Complex. Starts with L-taurine, calcium glycerphosphate, sodium glycerphosphate, potassium phosphate, magnesium malate. Those are just your minerals or your electrolytes. And it also has a sustamine inside of it, which is L-alanine L-glutamine, which is basically alanine and glutamine peptide bonded together. It's supposed to help with increasing hydration or absorption of water and electrolytes in the intestines. So that would be why they put that in there. Next is the nitric Oxy Endurance Complex.
And real quick on that, we found there's one study up on the the International Journal of Sports Nutrition. They have a study up there, and what they concluded, and it's not necessarily that the ingredient doesn't work, it's just that they found that the subjects that were given the alanine glutamine did have a better performance enhancing. They measured VO2 max and recovery, and it was more attributed to the fact that they were rehydrated and given electrolytes. So it was kind of incomplete. We're not really sure how effective that is, but we'll see as that ingredient gets some more human studies done on it. So I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay. So as far as the nitric Oxy Endurance Complex, or the nitric oxide complex, citrulline, and it says there's 2 grams of that, carnipure, which is L-carnitine L-tartrate, ornithine, and beet extract. You're probably wondering why beet extract is in there. I've seen one recent study done to show that taking beet extract or beet juice can help with increasing nitric oxide. As far as does it work, or it's just one study. We're going to need to see more before we can conclusively say it does increase nitric oxide in the body.
See, I think if you watch some of our other videos with all the nitric oxide products, whether they're doing with arginine, norvaline, and now in this case with beet extract, personally I'm a little skeptical as to how you can get more than a very acute reaction in terms of increasing nitric oxide, because when you're doing that, you're decreasing your blood pressure, and your body controls that pretty closely. For every action there's a reaction, so your body always wants to maintain homeostasis to have that balance. And you'll say, well, pharmaceuticals seem to be able to do that. Yeah, because they're shutting down other pathways in the body. Somewhat throwing a wet blanket on the system, but these are not doing that. So I remain skeptical as to how effective a nitric oxide product can be. Most of these pre-workouts to me shine in the sense that they're good in terms of stimulants and getting you going for your workout. And if they get you going and you have a better workout as a result, then they've done their job. In terms of pump and increasing nitric oxide, I remain skeptical. I've yet to see.
A lot of that, honestly, is going to come with your workout. As you get more into working out, more in tune with your body, you're going to be able to get your own a natural pump yourself. So for these products that are claiming to do that, I think they're more stimulant based, and being that, they're going to give you a better workout, like John was saying, and if it does that, then it's done its job.
Yeah, and really, if you're at the gym, it's hard to measure that pump per se, unless you're measuring your blood vessels, which I have the tools to do that.
Yeah.
So next.
Okay. Next is the branched chain Mtor Stimulation blend. It's just your branched chain amino acid, leucine, isoleucine, and valine. 2 grams of leucine, so they're telling you how much leucine you're getting in there.
And that'll be good if you're watching your calories. You're going to run the risk of burning up some muscle for energy. So putting those in there makes sense. Because of the Mtor pathway, you can stop some catabolism in terms of your body using up muscle. The other ways is just carbohydrates. But again, if you're watching your calories. That's a good.
Yeah, there's only 10 calories per serving or per scoop, so it's relatively low calories. You can use it whether you're dieting or not.
I think that's the main thing BCAAs are good for, would be that
diet.
when they're taken alone. So.
Exactly, because if taken with others, then there's the competition between the amino acids and proteins. Next, you've got Phosphor Signaling Complex. This is basically their creatine formula. Creatine monohydrate, creatine magna power, which is magnesium creatine chelate, and something called cetria, which is basically glutathione, or they call it reduced glutathione or glutathione, however you want to say it. What I've found out about that, really everything I see with glutathione is that it's good. It's a good antioxidant. It's your master powerhouse antioxidant in the body. Very good, overall health, things like that. As far as it being involved with, driving creatine absorption or something to that effect, or increasing your phosphate production, I don't know. I haven't seen anything.
I think the main thing is it's a very potent antioxidant. Now the question has always been, by taking glutathione directly, does it absorb in its native state? I don't know. I think the best I've seen is RLA, R-alpha lipoic acid, has been shown to increase glutathione production because it is a powerful antioxidant. So maybe this reduced form absorbs better. We'd have to look and see if we can find some more human studies on that. But that's a nice additive if it does in fact do that, because obviously you're going to be producing some free radicals as you're stressing your body during your workout. So that would be a good additive in that sense. I'm not sure if that was the logic behind having it in there or not. But,
it may have been. So. That makes sense when you put it that way. Yeah. Next is the Cognate Acceleration Matrix. Starts with tyrosine, caffeine, oxytropis falcate, which you'll notice is also in their two fat burners, the Fenorex and Spiradex, those two. What I've read about those is that, more importantly with them being in those fat burners, is that it increases your feelings of being full, but it's also good for overall mood, or improved overall feeling, so you're going to feel better, or for what they found from it. And then there's the peak ATP and glucuronolactone. Peak ATP is sort of their answer of saying, we want you to take an ATP exogenously. So you're going to take it, absorb it, and then you'll have extra ATP. As far as does it work, it's been around for years. Used to be a product out that had it.
Add Energy from Nutrition. But they discontinued it.
Yeah, discontinued it, never got any rave reviews.
If you go on their site, they quote a lot of animal studies, and then they quote studies about ATP. Yeah, we know what ATP does, and we know that you need it. Now, taking their product, they're saying you give your body the tools necessary to fill your pools in order to make more ATP. That hasn't been demonstrated in a human being with this particular ingredient that I've seen. Now, there may be. We have a blind spot, that's fine.
Studies, basically.
Yeah, but from the best thing we've seen for ATP is creatine in terms of your body's ability to recycle it, and then getting proper nutrients. I know magnesium plays a role, and other things. But as always, you can't. That doesn't mean just go pop a bunch of magnesium and hey, I'm going to produce a bunch of ATP, because as always, your body doesn't work that way. When you just throw in one ingredient, that's not how it works. Your body needs every other ingredient, especially with minerals. You could throw off your mineral balance, and magnesium as well, as we well know. And many of you who took the original version of Superpump, you'll be in the bathroom too. So that's
there's
the laxative effect.
This formula has a very small amount of magnesium. I know the original formula, when this was first introduced, was something like 300 milligrams per scoop, and for people taking 3 scoops, that was equal to a laxative. So with this, there should be no problems.
So again, with the peak ATP, at this point in time, there may be some human studies out there, but I haven't seen any. I don't know if you really did. So
haven't seen any.
The last ingredient
is glucuronolactone. You probably noticed this in like Red Bull and many other energy drinks, Monster. All the studies, they really haven't done any specific studies on this ingredient. They're doing studies on Red Bull, on Monster, and finding that yes, they help with your energy levels or endurance output during the workout. But there's also caffeine and other stimulants inside there. So to say that this particular ingredient is doing what it's saying it's doing, you can't tell. There's no human studies.
It's not been isolated. It's all, like he said, with other ingredients. It's thought to fight fatigue, increase well-being, but who knows? Because when you're taking a bunch of other stuff, you just don't know.
And there's also carbohydrates in those Red Bull and Monster. They didn't select the sugar-free varieties, so the carbs could be doing it.
It may work, but who knows? I think that if we really want to find out, they should isolate the ingredients and do it that way, and do it on a human being too, of course. Exactly. So overall, it's not that much different from Superpump 250. Except for the fact that there's no, well, I guess it is different. There's no AKG, the arginine is not in there anymore. It's a little bit smaller of a serving. Instead of 20 grams, it's 16 grams. You know, the BCAAs, I mean, they weren't really in the original version, were they?
Yeah, the transcription process.
No, they weren't. So,
Okay.
so it's a completely new product. So, if you want to give it a shot, there's certainly some ingredients in there. And again, we reiterate, you know, with the pre-workouts, we don't mean to be down on them. We're just trying to be straight up with you guys that we really think that they're mainly stimulants. I mean, and it's cool. I mean, I drink them sometimes. It gives me a buzz, and I seem to have a better workout. So, you know, to me, it seems to do its job in that sense. And again, there's some other things in there, like the BCAAs and stuff. If you're, you know, not taking, you know, if you're on a calorie restrictive diet, it could certainly help you in terms of preserving some muscle tissue, so you're not breaking it down during your workout.
Yeah,
so.
definitely. If you're looking for something that is not heavy on the stimulant side, so you're not going to get the jitters while you work out, you're not going to you know, have the racy heart or anything like that. So that's where the Superpump Max would come in, because it is a lower dose stimulant product. I mean, the main stimulus is caffeine. We don't know how much is in there, but I'm guessing it's lower than other pre-workout products.
Yep. So, if you guys have any questions, just please feel free to go ahead and post them in the blog or on the comments of the video, and we'll go ahead and answer them for you. Thank you.
Thank you.